still doing games, still doesn't miss a beat. And we talked about the ABA days when he was coaching the Kentucky Spreads. We see PG stick the arm in, the steal, and the emphasis at the end.
Who knew he was Dutch? The windmill by George. 71-51.
It's the interception, the steal, off to the races. A little showtime right here for Paul George. Remember those days.
George. By George, the Clippers lead! For that screen. You can't catch up and get back into the picture. Paul George, pull-up jumper, got it!
The chance to go back in front, 3 minutes to play in the third. George, the cross on Smith, takes it in, corkscrews for two. 83-82 LA. Thomas.
Early, make Paul George see bodies.
George crosses, sweeps it right back to Larry Nance. It's stick.
With the pretzels there in Philadelphia.
Oh, awesome.
Absolutely next level.
George, bump going up. Bridges brings it back out. George over Bridges. Another. KZ guarding Paul George. George, step back. Oh.
With these two teams, Norman Powell for the Clippers and Bobby Portis for the Bucks. George again, sticks.
They rank 29th in the league in three-point percentage. Paul George, a little mid-range.
Just gives it back. Paul George with Murray on him. Paul goes to the corner, fakes and fires. Got to hit.
Quickly doubled in that corner. Shot clock at 6. 7-2 run here by the Clippers.
Better place when he is in it. We talked about it when we were in San Antonio on Friday as George glides to the rim and lays it in.
George takes the three, over no sumo, and finally the Clippers start to get going.
On far side to George. Late on the clock. Step away three.
Wow! Paul George knocks.
Paul George, go-to guy. Spin on Reeves. Impossible to
In any previous year, but he has not been shooting it at that kind of rate. There's Paul George.
George was 7 to shoot for the Clippers. Drives in on Bullock. He goes in.
Hello, nasty!
Board. Pistons trim the lead to 10. Paul George, topside gun goes.
Man, tastes good.
He's still only 25 in his fifth season. Break it off.
Oh, no.
And the foul.
Oh, no.
That's not fair either.
Hold up.
Paul George broke it on 7 points.
Clippers are down by 6. George, can he do it again? Yes, sir!
12 to shoot. George lines it up. Bottom.
Happy for that young man.
George has got a little one-on-one, pulls it back, and buries it. Paul George.
And then Knicks and Nets for the Clippers. George lets it.
Get inside it.
AI's got to get out of the way. Paul George rocks the rim.
Figure this thing out and kind of get some stabilization.
George on the wing for 3.
Paul George off the man screen. George working against Buddy Hield. And Paul George
Sent the Clippers into the Western Conference Finals as George hits another one. So back-to-back threes.
Here's Paul George now back in the game at the 7:32 mark. He goes to work in the paint, fakes a pass, spins, corkscrews, and hits a fadeaway jumper.
Can't the set the Blazers in the first 6 minutes of the fourth quarter. George.
Oh, book it for Paul George.
George with a screen from Patterson. Flings a 3, and it is all systems.
15 points. Paul George with a shot.
Players in the league on and off the floor.
George back in the game, making an entrance to the rim. Oh, and gets the bounce.
My ankle was so stiff. I just couldn't imagine going out there, but you warmed it up and you got out there and you played. And that was filthy.
Turn to shoot for George for the lead. He put it in! 18 for...
You got to come and help.
George has it slapped away, but gets it back. And
Paul George makes his move behind the back. Pulls up jumper. It's good.
40% shooting for the Clippers inside, forcing it.
Down by 5. They're just joining us. Kawhi Leonard on the bench with 2 quick fouls. George launching butter.
But they got enough talent they can win a series.
George goes inside and pounds it down.
Drives on McDermott, stops on a dime. He's the mid-range.
Brook. That's 4 by the Lakers. Here's Paul George, 6 points so far. Make it 8.
Years at Florida State, the former Seminole. Paul George is in very deep. Reverse layup is good.
He's going to be the anchor when it's all said and done. George. Oh my! Look out below! Oh, you've got to get up to throw down Paul George and the Clippers out in front 11-10.
Paul George is liking it. He's got a little smile there, and it started out by him splitting the 2 defenders out in front of him. And we've seen the Clippers split Indiana's defense at least 2 or 3 times.
Clippers out in front, timeout Pacers, Paul George getting into the act.
You kind of like that one, didn't you? Starts with the split, finishes by throwing it down.
Paul George on a stop-and-go drive, and there's a first inside bucket I can remember since early in his ball game. Amazing that he's a 17-year veteran in this league. Joe Johnson. Paul George drives around Cephalosha. Nice move. And one. Jump shot. Paul George working the crossover against Mitchell Westbrook. Deep. Got it. By Andrew Wiggins.
The other night. And the home opener here. George fired to the rim. Ooh, that was pretty.
Well, you know, they know he can shoot the basketball.
Nice screen by Patrick Patterson. Taj Gibson on the switch. George scores over it. Eustace has another rebound. The hit ahead. George is fouled. He scores. And it's a 3-point play opportunity for George.
Officiating so far.
Teague, the All-Star in 2015, knocks down the free throws. He's on 11, but Thunder has got to reply. Paul George hits the deck.
Oladipo is just feeling it from Oladipo. I beg your pardon. Count that basket.
Scoop shot by Grant. No. Westbrook comes out with the basketball and feeds Paul George for 3.
Too early in the clock. You're going to take that shot. Stop buying a line. You know what I mean? I don't mind the 3-point shot. Nice roll again by Steven Adams.
Thought about the 3. Instead, he attacks on Westbrook. Can't get it to go. And then Taj turns it over. Westbrook in transition.
And that's what you want to continue to do. It's just make them feel like, okay, how do we guard this thing?
George steps into it, and he's got another from distance. Paul George
Did himself. Speed. It's quick off the line. There's George, and that's good. He didn't hit him with the MJ, did he? Yes, he did. Oh, my goodness. Encouraging. They come out with a little bit more energy.
George running in, layup good. The shot at the 3-point line. George measuring Holiday, former star at the University of Washington. George goes right down Main Street to score.
Oklahoma City from the New York Knicks. First team he played for in the NBA was the Denver Nuggets. Won a national championship in Syracuse. George.
Here's George, puts it on the floor, gets past 2 guys, stuffs it on the freak.
And turn this into a possession ball game. You needed a bucket. Paul George, man, the assertiveness to attack the freak and give him a bucket.
Not able to handle it. George is right back. Miami gets back. And George in the face of Bosch, serving up a facial.
Look at this. This exchange. Phenomenal dunk over the top of Bosch.
4 to shoot George. Wade trying to stay with him. George pulls up, puts it in. Paul George again.
And I like LeBron James switching on Paul George.
Paul George from downtown.
Frank Vogel's trying to get a timeout.
A 3. Bang! Paul George from downtown. What a fourth quarter performance from George.
Hibbert
Good job faking.
got the rebound, throws it out to Paul George.
No, it should have reset. No, I can't believe that. Fortunately. Got that steal too.
And here he goes.
Here we go.
PG.
What you got?
Puts on the shot.
Yeah! Oh yeah, PG.
That is the one.
That
There's
has to
no
be the
question.
one. Oh
that
my
is
goodness.
the one. Look at this again.
See if Indiana will take quick shots. How about this? Here's George. Oh, that was fun.
He's the last line. He has to be there to prevent outlet play.
Outlet, run out, behind the back, dunked by Paul George.
Out the three-point line, not let people get dribble penetration.
Stolen by Paul George. He's off and running. And hammers it.
5 seconds. Ball's deflected away. West. George fires for the tie. He's got it.
George, step around James. Oh, George! How do you do?
Here's Rose. George gets back defensively, and wow!
Winding down. George doesn't take the jumper initially. Now he does. Tough delivery.
Everett with the ball screen. Here's George falling away. Hits another off-balance shot.
West looking. George catches a three. Bang!
50% from the field reminds you a little bit of Jeff Foster offensively.
Oh, what a pass by Stevenson! And then it's Paul George!
Oh my goodness. Defense, they get the opportunity.
Yeah, they won on back-to-back nights. On Tuesday, they won at home. Here's Paul George over Stackhouse.
Yeah, way to go, Paul.
The throwdown.
Here comes George, got the step and stuffs one move and counts in the foul. He beat LeBron James with that quick step. A sensational move by Paul George.
We are seeing a superstar in the making here with Paul George. Gets the step on LeBron James. The Birdman is just a little bit late rotating over. And click, click. Birdman, this is your Kodak moment.
That is ridiculous.